Okay, back with some more Obi-Wan Benogi games. Right after I jumped off the last one, you must have jumped in the queue, which I missed. But that was a win for Obi-Wan Benogi. Here we've got a new game from him against Mr. Bubbles, which is a great username, but I have no idea who the player is. Just someone with a great username. Okay, so Arena makes you want to have actions to discard, which is not really a big deal. Wall makes you want to have very few cards. Gardens makes you want to have very many cards. Those things obviously are at odds with each other, uh, but probably not in a way that really matters. There's not really thinning here, so you're not going to thin. Does two fours better than a gold here? Not clear. Obi-Wan Benogi thinks yes. Um, Tournament does seem like it's probably going to be important here. Um, Again, with no thinning, followers seems pretty good. With no villages, trusty steed seems pretty good. The other stuff's kind of medium, but also like having a peddler is pretty good. This could easily be another gold here for Mr. Bubbles. It's a good. I don't see really charm really does for you on this board. Um, Maybe I'm missing something, but I mean, I'd probably get a charm here as Obi-Wan Benogi. Although, honestly, I'm not sure that it's better than tournament. I mean, the problem with tournament is that your tournaments are going to get blocked at some point. The problem with charm is that it's mostly a silver here. Another Sacred Grove, the problem with that is you're going to run out of terminal space. So there's problems with everything. Nothing's great. Gold certainly seems better than charm to me, because one more money seems better than the charm ability, given the lack of deck control and draw here. The plus buy seems not so great given wall and the lack of deck control and draw to get you a big turn. And lastly, actually, here, let's interrupt my thought for a moment to say I'd probably take 2 3 so that I can get an imp off of this DW here, but I would think about gold and either chariot race or tournament as well. Okay, Pearl Diver tournament as opposed to like chariot race, chariot race. I'm kind of not feeling, but okay. Um, Gold is also a more expensive card for chariot races, so that's another reason to take it here. Okay, this allowed Mr. Bubbles to get an imp here. We're all just plowing right through. Do I take this if I'm Obi-Wan Benogi? I guess I do. I mean, I think we're still at the point in the game where cards are still a positive thing, although it's not that far off from being the other way. Mr. Bubbles is a little bit less clear because I'd much rather hit 6 than 5, but you also don't know what the Sacred Grove boon is going to give you. Hitting the province is pretty huge for Obi-Wan Benogi on their turn, his turn. Um, we should know, and this should be a gold, I think. I was going to say on his turn he should play the Pearl Diver first. He should still do that, but yes, put that on top. And now Imp. And now Chariot Race. Flame's Gift is wonderful. You're going to trash that. And Mr. Bubble should also trash something, yeah. And you're going to get some arena points. You're going to get another province. And I'm not even sure if you DW for something. I guess a Chariot Race is probably still better than nothing. Not huge on the Sages, although better here than normal because province isn't necessarily a bad card to hit. This has to be province. Obi-Wan Benogi seems very, very far ahead. This, I would take followers, but I would expect him to take steed. Oh, followers, good. The discard attack, I think, is really good. Um, you know, like normal, it's a point to the positive as well. I would take gold here. I want to be able to close out on provinces. So I want a gold. I think it's early for gardens. especially right before a shuffle. And it's not like you're gonna actively be seeking extra cards because of wall. So, I mean, the gardens, it's probably still better than Duchy, although that's kind of close. But it's a pretty good boon. It's a pretty good boon. You just discard the estates. Um, but I just think it's too early because you're going to need to get another province or two. Chariot race, imp. Okay. Having a province on top is really nice. So Obi-Wan Benogi, instead of leading with imp here, should lead with chariot race to make sure, well, to give a very, very high chance of this chariot race connecting for a point and money. You play the imp after. I mean, it does reduce your imp's ability to do stuff later. Yeah, but I would still much rather take the. This should be cards and actions, I think. I would still much rather take the chariot race first to, well, he lucks out and it hits anyway. Um, I would not take a Wisp as Mr. Bubbles here. I mean, yes, it's a good card. Yes, it helps your deck, but I don't think it's worth the -1 point for wall. It's pretty small difference. It's probably a pretty small difference either way, though. Yeah, totally reasonable resignation there. Are they going to play another? Do 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 a do 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 do. A bum 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 banana bum 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 banana banana bum bum banana ba do do do. I could switch to the Jeopardy music. Does Wheel of Fortune? It doesn't really have think music. It has a theme song. I guess Jeopardy, by the Jeopardy music, I was thinking of the thinking music. It's not really the Jeopardy theme song either. See, at this point, if I were the one waiting to play another game, I would be leaving and back to the auto match queue. I would assume my opponent is left. Um, but I'm going to wait here with Obi-Wan Benogi as long as Obi-Wan Benogi wants to wait. I shouldn't say as long as because, like, I'm not going to wait for another half hour here or something. But I'll wait another couple minutes at least. And holy shnikes. This has been incredibly fast. They both opened double ambassador. Um, you got to be on the lookout for missions here. I don't think I would have gone double ambassador. I think I would have just gone single. And I would really be looking out for mission as a way to kind of increase the speed at which my ambassador plays go. Obi-Wan Benogi looks to have a huge deck size advantage, though. Ship these over. I might also go for Masquerade, possibly in lieu of, but probably just probably not in lieu of Ambassador overall, but probably maybe in lieu of the second one, like go Ambassador Farming Village and then get a Masquerade on my next three, but mostly to be trying to use my force for missions. Obi-Wan Benogi looks to have a much thinner deck here, although the Ambassador Collision here might hurt a little bit. Not much, though, because these are... It's even a bigger... So I was thinking it was a big deck size advantage, but it's even bigger than I thought. Bustling Village or Mission here? Yeah, I don't think this is going to do it, though. Because a lot of Obi-Wan Benogi's deck size is actually not really effective deck size. Just buy a silver here, needs the econ. Because they're cantrips. There's a lot of cantrips in Obi-Wan Benogi's deck. Settlers is particularly good in ambassador games because you're very likely to have an ambassador even at the start of a shuffle like this because your opponent's going to ambassador you one, as we're about to see. That was a good mission, even though it just skipped a bad turn. Like, that is something you're pretty happy to have it do here. Um, but Obi-Wan Benogi should just really be hammering here the deck size advantage, and that's going to be all she wrote pretty soon here. That's another or that's, yeah, I think it's a second bustling village for Sandstorm, yeah. Guess return 2 coppers and take another silver here, but I could also see just returning 1 and missioning. I guess you're not really advancing your own game plan much if you do that, so the second silver makes some sense. A develop is also kind of plausible, but what are you developing? A silver? Into estate and village? I'm not really seeing what the ambassador target or the developed targets are here. I guess once you get a 4, but in that case, why not start with the 4? Develop looks kind of awkward here, for instance. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Silver, yeah. I mean, I think Obi-Wan Benogi is just so very far ahead that there's quite a bit of leeway here. You ambassador the estate back and be a little bit sad at this ugly develop that's sitting in your hand, but I mean, it's fine. It is very hard to draw cards here. I will give you that. So you got to be pretty careful about it. But actually, that's probably another strike against develop, right? Because develop really wants you to be able to draw cards to be able to make use of it. You're not going to develop anything here. You're going to buy a mystic, right? Oh, the last bustling village? Sure, that kind of works. What am I saying? It's not that hard to draw cards here. You just get Masquerade. Another reason to get Masquerade over the second ambassador. Now, Sandstorm's gotten a third ambassador, which is usually a sign that you're losing and usually doesn't prevent you from losing. Now, I'm not sure about triggering that shuffle because you're not going to get anywhere with it. You might as well salt the earth for a point. You might as well salt the earth for a point, trash an estate or something. Um, but I do think mission is a way forward here. Gotta You gotta stay thin here if you're Obi-Wan Benogi. I would be passing out 2 coppers and probably developing the estate into, okay, this is just 1 copper. Estate into Masquerade and buying a farming village. It's got to be the reason you, oh, mission could be a reason why you, yeah, that could be a reason why you, yeah, that makes a lot of sense as a reason why you would not do. I'm not sure if it makes a lot of sense as a the develop here, but okay. And give 2 coppers. Maybe he's thinking about only giving 1, but I think you gotta just give 2. Keep your deck as thin as possible. You should have enough money. I mean, you can always develop your farming village later if you need to. Is this a mission? Is this a... It is a mission. For Pete's sake, with your 4 money on this mission turn, buy a Salt the Earth. You don't have to salt a province, but okay, you found it. Yeah. You could salt a province. I don't think I would suggest salting province. Probably suggest salting a state or something. Actually, you know what? The long game does not favor you, so salting province might be good. Pass copper, I suppose, because you want to ambassador 2 estates. No, you pass a state anyway. Yeah, that makes some sense. Okay, you're probably looking to mission here, it looks like. You kind of really need more draw if you're Obi-Wan Benogi, which probably means developing this farming village into a masquerade and I think a mystic. So you put masquerade and then you put mystic. Think you want masquerade, a second masquerade more than you want scheme. You don't really need scheme. Scheme doesn't do nothing for you. Now you should also salt the earth here, but if you're Obi-Wan Benogi, you don't want to salt province. You just salt a state. But you want the point because I mean it's a free point. Duchy. Um, I don't know. I'd probably have to think a long time as to whether duchy or estate's actually better. But I'm not really gonna sweat it. Mission, yup. Take the copper. Bustle. Now what? He's gonna give the estate and salt a province. I mean, those things are kind of contradictory to each other, but in some sense it makes sense because this is not what you want to see if you're Obi-Wan Benogi. What did you scheme last turn if it wasn't a village? Settlers? That would not be near the top of what I would want to scheme. It would either be a village or the masquerade. I mean, I think your deck is enough better that you're just still very far ahead if you're Obi-Wan Benogi, but okay, so now you return 2 estates, 2 coppers, and mission. And actually, if you're Sandstorm, your deck is not really that much worse than Obi-Wan Benogi's now. Do I believe that? I mean, it's still quite a bit worth, right? Worth? Worse. So you have to salt because you can't province because it's mission turn. And you're continuing to salt provinces as opposed to anything else. Okay. You will pass an ambassador here if that comes up. This mystic is not looking great. Settlers. It's a good thing to wish for. I think the whole develop plan I'm not a big fan of though. I would give this copper, I think. But you got to get something going for yourself soon. You got a mission now. You're just taking a farming village as opposed to missioning. Okay, no, you've decided, wait a minute, no, I need a mission, of course. Surely that's why you, yeah, okay. Now bustle. And now you want to develop this mystic. Don't you want to develop the mystic? Yeah, ambassador is the right thing to pass there if you're Sandstorm. Third ambassador just don't do much. You might develop an ambassador here. Develop the mystic. Yeah, okay, this makes more sense to me. Get an altar and a farming village? No, you take gold with your farming village. Interesting. Settlers does get a copper, and you're just spewing stuff back. The estate and 2 coppers, right? Yes, okay. Good deal. This game is really in the balance again. I could see either person potentially winning. I would have developed the estate into a masquerade there. I still desperately want more draw if I'm Obi-Wan Benogi. Now, you know that these last 3 cards contain a masquerade. What are you trashing here? Silver into farming village estate. Knowing that there's a masquerade in there, this makes some sense. But I'm still not a huge fan of it. Bustling village first, because you want to draw settlers. That was a mistake. Okay. I just I don't really see Obi-Wan Benogi. Yeah, you have the thin deck, that's nice, but you're not moving forward. You need to be getting more draw so you can get more payload. I don't think develop was an efficient way to do that, but probably not playing it here so you can buy a salt. Salt, I would guess duchy. As long as it's not province, it's okay. Mission, bustles, bustle first. Okay, settlers. Okay, bustle doesn't really matter. Oh, I guess it did matter. And this was better. Return 2 coppers, return 2 coppers, Salta province. Maybe you shouldn't have triggered the shuffle. I guess there's a bustling village in it. You're probably fine. This is a weird, weird game how it's playing out. Um, I mean, after getting so far behind, I kind of like what Sandstorm's doing. After getting so far ahead, I kind of don't like what Obi-Wan Benogi's doing. Obviously, this is going to be an estate pass. What is the other pass going to be? A copper. Sure, but you need a way to get something going if you're Obi-Wan Benogi, right? So I would have kept the estate so I could develop it into a masquerade and schemed some kind of a village. Okay, finally this ambassador's getting gone. A mission. Here we go. So the deck is finally really thin and in control for Obi-Wan Benogi, and he can start looking at increasing his payload. Next turn, I mean, I would be developing this estate into a silver and ambassadoring. I guess he's ambassadoring the estate. This is putting him behind more and more and more points, but probably doesn't really matter. Silver. It's a good card. Another scheme. Salting more duchies. At some point you wonder if you're going to need duchies to catch up. I'd really be looking more to salt estates. I guess estates can also run out at some point too. This is going to be a mission. Settlers. The settlers. No, you need to play settlers to get the coppers, both coppers. Should have played that before the bustling village. Now there's a copper in here you don't really want. You could have had in your hand instead of in your deck here. Salting another province. Okay. I mean, Obi-Wan Benogi just needs to get a little more econ soon and he'll be fine. But he actually does need to get that econ. Because Sandstorm is reliably treading water and milling a province and scoring a point every turn. Which isn't much, but will eventually win the game. Okay. So you're not moving ahead at all. You're also just treading water. Okay, you get a mystic here. That will help. Like, I'm wanting to develop this estate. I want to get a better card. More masquerade so I can draw more, so I can do more. This is going to be a mission. Bustle. Settle. 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 Settlers. Take the copper. Yes. Bustle again. Okay, settlers. Okay, bustling village. Okay. So now you return an estate. You return a copper, and you salt a province. And you realize you're kind of running out of coppers, but you do have the 2 silvers, which is kind of all you need. Because your deck is now under control as well. Although, like, I don't know, maybe you could, instead of salting, get another little bit of money and try to buy provinces? Because salting is pretty tenuous. Well, it's not like Obi-Wan Benogi's deck control is particularly great either. Develop this mystic into a gold and a farming village, please. Oh, is he actually doing it? Oh, that's wonderful. Pass a copper. I think you can afford to trash a copper here. Oh, maybe not if you've given ambassador. Okay. Wow, this is suddenly an extremely tense game. Mission? Duchy. Okay. You're you're getting scared, you're buying duchy. Sure. Bustle, settle, copper. Now, do you ambassador estates here? Because I kind of think you don't. Because then Obi-Wan Benogi's too close to ending the game. So I kind of think you just give a copper or maybe nothing. And is missioning even helping you? You maybe just salt. And then you say, I don't think you can buy a province. What? You're chickening out too. Okay, but now you have 7 money in your deck, which is incredibly awkward. Also, if you get masqueraded, it's also incredibly awkward. I think you just salted there and say, I dare you to buy a province, and I don't think Obi-Wan Benogi is likely to be able to, although it's obviously certainly possible, and even would have happened here. So now you buy a province and say, you don't return a copper, and then you could safely buy a province and say, I know you can't buy province because there isn't 8 money in your deck. But that's really hard to track. Now, if Sandstorm draws well enough, which is unlikely but possible, you could draw to 3 silvers and 2 coppers, buy a province, and win the game. Let's see it happen here. And it didn't. Oh, 4 silvers. That's it. That's the win. Wow. Really weird, tense, flipping back and forth, upside down game. Wow. Kind of a lesson in ambassador games. Let's move on to the next one. Whoa. Nobles with Horde with Shepherd. Lucky Coin and Pasture. Road Network. That's an interesting complex of cards. Merchant goes with Lucky Coin. Fool maybe with the junk. Cultist. It's probably just Cult. Whoa. K52, it's definitely got to be Cultist, right? Cultist, and I'm pretty sure I don't want the estate. I think I'm mostly just playing Cultist. Cultist money. Maybe get a Horde at some point. Probably get a Horde. Are you going for Road Network? Are you serious, my boy? Opening Road Network. That means you really believe in Shepherd or Shepherd Nobles. I really believe in Cultist here. I think you get junked. It gets in the way of any kind of Shepherd stuff you want to do. And you lose if you're not doing it. So I really believe in Cultist here. And I would have happily opened Cultist and taken my silvers from my Lucky Coin, which is going to give me enough economy to keep hitting Cultist and then Province, and then just like done that the whole game, right? Buy Cultist every time. I'm going to get silvers with my Lucky Coin every time. And when the stuff runs out, I'm going to get the... Oh, we thought it was a different project. Well, that makes some sense. I'm trying to think what other project. Maybe he thought it was Academy? I don't think the art of Road Networks looks different, but my guess is Obi-Wan Benogi hasn't played that much with, well, projects at all, basically. Um, so it makes some sense that you could get them confused. Um, like honestly, I've played how many thousands of games with landmarks showing up sometimes, and I still usually check them. Which one is that again? You know. Um, Warehouse. Huh. Well, I'll say this for Fool here. It's kind of sucky to draw every time, but your Lost in the Woods should be very well fed. I would have kept the lucky coin here. I think silvers are good. You're just playing cultist money, so silvers seem good to me. Well, maybe you're not just playing cultist money, but that's what I would be doing more or less. I also don't really like the warehouses, but that's kind of minimal either way. Got another cultist. Gets a fool, okay. Plays a cultist, or discards for a, okay. Plays a cultist. Feels pretty bad to have that miss the shuffle. Feels pretty bad to not have any green cards with your shepherd, but I think that's going to happen a lot here because you're not going to have any green cards in your deck, especially after your opponent opened Road Network. I would not have wanted to get shepherd. Um, Still trigger this shuffle. You want to give the cultist out. It makes it a short shuffle. You want to give the ruins out, etc., etc., etc. Buy another cultist. Absolutely. Now, I don't know how many silvers are left in Obi-Wan Benoki's deck. I think it's 0. It might be 1. I guess you're playing the fool. And not like a music lyric, I play the fool, but like playing the card fool. Um, Flames is nice. You gotta trash this ruined library. Moons is nice. You gotta put a cultist on top of your deck. I guess you could stick a warehouse on top of your deck if you wanted. Merchant. I don't believe in merchant. Buy another cultist. I mean, now you could think about horde, but I think another cultist is still the way to go there. Earth Skift. Are you going to take Earth Skift? You haven't been playing your lucky coin. You still don't want to play your lucky coin, which seems a little bit weird to me with the merchant. Okay, you got to give out 3. And this merchant, yeah. I mean, it's very tempting to want to not just play, oh, I'm going to get silvers and cultists and that's it. Because it's, kind of boring to do that, but I still think it's what you're probably best suited to try to do. Um, I haven't been keeping close track of the ruin split. I think it's pretty close. 6. I might take Horde here genuinely with 6 or 7. I do want Econ. I don't want Nobles. I just think Nobles as a fact is so unlikely to be particularly good. Drawing 3 cards doesn't seem fantastic. I'd kind of rather have the cultist effect. Nobles is 2 points, so there's something about that, but there's also Road Network. I mean, I guess you have a Shepherd, so that is a point in Nobles' favor, but I'd still rather have a Horde. This is a pretty good hand for Obi-Wan Benoki. I mean, just having a couple of, and I'd buy a silver here, having a couple of green cards for your Shepherd. And he didn't discard to Lost in the Woods here, which is a bit surprising to me. This should be a province. And again, I want to play the lucky coin here. I think silvers are good for what you want to be doing because I think all you're really trying to do here is buy a province as high a percentage of the turns as possible. I certainly don't think nobles is better than province. I think that's having some kind of ambition to do more than you can do on this board. I would expect Fool to get discarded here. Earth's Gift, which I probably wouldn't take, but you're trying to do something bigger and fancier that, again, I don't think is good, but it is consistent to do this. And I'm not sure what the ruin split was. Let's get rid of that. I'm not sure what the ruin split was. I think it's not more than 6/4 one way or the other, though. Horde, yes, love it. Lost in the Woods doesn't really go so well with Warehouse. Is Shepherd what I want there? I don't know that it is. Well, this is good. Discard both. 5. Is he going to get a Cultist or an Archive or a Shepherd or... Okay, Archive. A Merchant. Yeah, I think all this fancy stuff is a little bit too fancy, and I just would not be buying actions besides cultists, basically. I'd be buying cultists, I'd be buying treasures. I might have bought a road network at some point, I don't know. Sky's Gift a couple times isn't the worst. This is going to be another archive. Okay. You would really, really like to draw his Shepherd here. Gus Veep is doing what? What you doing, Gus Veep? Probably have a choice of terminals to play, which could only mean Fool versus Cultist. I guess it could be Nobles versus Cultist. Nobles draws 3, Cultist only draws 2, so it's possible you wouldn't want to play Nobles for actions and then Cultist. Oh, I guess it could also mean Ruins versus a different Ruins. If you've got a Warehouse, I would think you would lead with that either way. I guess maybe you could be thinking about, maybe I go like, I don't know, a couple of different things beforehand. I mean, I want to take the lucky coin because I want to play the lucky coin here, but I would expect him to take the copper because he doesn't want to play the lucky coin, buy another archive. Honestly think these decks could be doing much better if they would have more treasures and less actions in them. Because the lucky coin should really speed you up here with that strategy. And I mean, if you can play the merchant and get it to where you're going to play a silver in the same turn, then it's going to be better than a silver. But the problem is there's a decent percentage of the time you draw the merchant dead, and there's also a chunk of the time that you don't connect it with a silver. In those cases, it's worse than a silver. And I think it's so much worse than the silver in those cases. It's not that much better than the silver in the other cases that I think overall it's. You take the merchant there, yeah. I think overall it's worse than the silver. You take the gold here so you can province. Keep drawing as much as you can. And province. What are you waiting for? Yes, okay. So now, what does Gus Veep do? Gets Forest. Discards a Wisp. You must have a great hand. Okay, this is not what I was thinking was the great hand. Guess your Wisp isn't that good of a card. You're going Noble's Archive. So you're building even more, which I think is just kind of a fool's errand. And not the card fool. So you go nobles for actions, and then you play cultist, and then you play fool, and you don't take sons before you take wins. Take wins before sons. Because you want to set up your next turn, and you're not going to draw anything here that's really going to matter. You're not going to draw anything here that's really going to matter, so this seems like a waste. You're going to buy another province, and you're going to win the game. I mean, it doesn't win immediately, obviously, but he's in a commanding position now. He's gotten the 2 golds, and the 2 extra provinces is the big deal. Now, Gus Veep, on the other hand, has a couple of extra nobles, but I don't think nobles are a very good card here. Oh, Obi-Wan Benogi, I think, also has extra archives. Horde, buy an estate. 2 points. It does draw Obi-Wan Benogi a card, so that's a bit sad. Discard. He's going to discard his coin here. Okay, now I play the cultist before the shepherd. Merchant. Warehouse. Discard all coppers. And then shepherd and buy a province. This is an excellent turn for Obi-Wan Benogi. Yeah, you want to archive sooner rather than later. Take the survivors now. I don't see much reason to take the wisp. Okay, do not draw any more cards. You would love to leave that gold on top. Just buy a province. And I would still be gaining... I don't know why you draw that. I would still be gaining these silvers. You're obviously going to continue not gaining the silvers. And yeah, your deck looks good now, but it's turn 18. And sure, Cultist slows you down, but I don't know. You're definitely outplaying your opponent, so that's all that you're asked to do in the game. I really can't complain too much. So yeah, I don't know. Province, province estate. That was a really good turn for Gus Veep. This is going to be another province turn for Obi-Wan Benogi, like certainly though. Ditch all those. Keep the province. I mean, it's kind of a little bit risky, but you'd like to get back to these golds, so I think you're going to take the risk. I was thinking about playing the warehouse first, but that's probably not so good. Okay, going to discard the ruined village, the province, and the copper, but you would discard the lucky coin first. Take the silver now, the cultist later. No, you're going to go for it this direction. Archive again. Take a green card. Why would you take the wisp? You could take the wisp later. I don't know. It's not going to matter. It's going to be another province here. So yeah, in the end, you're just single provincing anyway, but I think you would be ahead if you just gone for it more directly. I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't, but I think you would. This is an estate. Just going to continue drawing you cards. But the problem is you're too far ahead, I think, now. You love to have the green card, given that you have this shepherd. Not sure what the order that you should play this merchant and this wisp in. I don't know if it really matters that much. Sea's Gift is really great. Merchant is nice. You probably shepherd before warehouse here, because you should just draw plenty of cards. I'm kind of thinking, actually, You don't have that many ruins. Maybe you won the ruin split bigger than I thought. Play another warehouse. Well, whatever. You're not going to trigger this shuffle. You're going to buy a province. You're going to win the game. It's actually quite fortunate for Obi-Wan Benogi how much he's been able to get his shepherd just in good spots. Um, Gus Veep now needs more than both the last than all the rest of the provinces, which is a pretty tough spot to be in on a board like this where it's hard to gain more than one green card per turn. Because I mean, it's very hard for Obi-Wan Benogi to score that many fewer points than Gus Veep if Gus Veep is buying a single green card. Okay, well, this is a good suite of boons, at least hypothetically. Yeah, you could go like double duchy here, or Noble's Duchy. You could just YOLO the province and take an estate. Might be good, because then if Obi-Wan Benogi has a complete and total dud, then you might be fine. The cultist. Oh, another archive. Take the warehouse or the gold? Obviously, you're going to discard those ruins. Okay, now you discard survivors and 2 green cards. And this is 8. This is actually more than 8. You buy a province, and now it's extremely difficult for Gus Veep to come back. I think Obi-Wan Benogi did win this ruin split, maybe by more than I thought. It might be 7-3. And maybe it's 6-4. But it's been a long and meandering game, hadn't it? 48 cards in deck. Wait, more than that. 1, 2, 3. 50? I think it's 50. Yeah. Yeah, it's 50. 50 cards. That's a lot of cards. Cultist. 12. Buy province and end the misery. Or buy duchy and continue the misery. Buy nobles and really continue the misery. Okay. Actions, cultist. That's an interesting choice. Gold? Archive. Well, that makes no sense given that you're playing the cultist. Yeah, it's just a mistake. I expected it to either be gold or cultist. Should not be near big enough an stake to get Gus Veep back in the game. Like I say, without gaining multiple cards a turn, which, I mean, Gus Veep can do. Don't get me wrong, he's done it a couple times in the last few turns. But it's very hard to score. Like, he could score 4 points here, he could score 3 points. It's going to be really unlikely that Obi-Wan Benogi scores less than 2 points in a turn, which just makes it extremely hard for Gus Veep to crawl back. Archive next. Take a treasure. That way you only need to draw any treasure. Actually, you don't even need to draw any treasure because 7 plus the 1 from the merchant gave it to you already. That's the end of this game. Our long national nightmare is over. Ruin 2, 3. Yeah, it was a 7-3 ruin split. I was totally wrong. I thought it was much closer than that. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of them must have gotten trashed. Maybe it was 6-4. But yeah. Okay, this is probably the last one I'm going to cover. It's getting late enough that I should go to bed soon. Ah, but Kyoso31, whose name I think I've actually been mispronouncing on a bunch of videos. Kyouso31. Kyouso, not Kyoso. Actually, it's probably both completely butchering it, but I'm going to say Kyouso because that's what it more phonetically is with this Romanized English phonetic pronunciation. Masquerade looks good like it normally is. Relic looks good. There's no village here, so you're just going to be playing, one terminal a turn. You're just going to be a single province game. You could play extra terminals if they're capitalism treasures, but that doesn't really seem worth it here. You get the relic. Um, is Masquerade good? Or do you just want to go for enchantresses? You probably want a Masquerade. Do you want a Horde here, or do you want a Hireling? Or do you want a Gold? I think I want a Hireling. Yeah. But that's going to change fairly soon. I'm going to switch to wanting Horde. I don't think I like a Cartographer. I kind of would just prefer to get a second Relic. Drawing the Hireling dead is really unfortunate, especially given that it was the only card that you drew. And now, as terminal as you are as Obi-Wan Benogi, I think you just got to take a silver. Otherwise, I would think about taking another Enchantress, but you're too terminal. Now you definitely want to make sure you get this Hireling played. Which is kind of sad. But I'd play it here. And I would buy a Relic again as opposed to Cartographer. Yeah, okay. Do agree with that decision. I like it. And now I think I'd buy a Horde over a Gold or another Hireling. Gets another Hireling. I mean, that's possible. Oh, now you feed the Masquerade to the, and you play a Hireling, and you could buy, I don't know what. You could take another Relic. Cartographer makes sense. I don't know if it's going to matter a lot. And by I don't know it's going to matter a lot, I think what I mean to say is I don't think it's going to matter a lot. Again, I apologize for all these coughs. Somehow it hurts my throat a little bit more to be doing this commentary than when I'm talking about my own games. Now I desperately would take a Horde here. And then I'd just be off to the races buying green cards like more or less every turn. Yeah. Now Kiwoso could gets another Hireling. Yeah. It's a little bit weird though, because you got Horde before Hireling, but then bought Hireling on a turn you had Horde in play, so like, why'd you get the Horde? I don't know. Obi-Wan Benogi looks massively ahead. Like, game-winningly ahead. Seven. I might buy a Gold here. I might buy a Horde. It's going to be one of those two. I think I'd buy a Gold at that point. Hireling would not have been my choice. Probably totally fine. I think the reason, so let's talk a little bit about Horde versus Gold. Gold is better in the short term, and when you get late enough in the game, the long term effect of the Horde isn't going to come up. Early enough in the game, you don't really be wanting to buy green cards, plus, it's a little bit less money if you're trying to buy things right now, so gold can be better. It's kind of that early mid game, a little before you're greening, that you might want to get the Horde. Um, Okay, I guess I'll do this one too, because that game was so fast. Excuse me though, I gotta cough again. I desperately want to go rebuild Pageant here. They work well together, and nothing else here looks like it can really do that much. Rebuild also better with, well, the Vassal helps a little bit. The Bandit Fort makes you want to not have treasures, and it's the treasures are mostly the only payload. So you could either go for like a million vassals and city quarters, or I think I'd go Vassal Pageant into Rebuild with maybe just, I might take a silver still, but I'm mostly just relying on my coffers to get me where I need to be. I'm buying a rebuild here. I mean, you could go recruiter. You've got 2 buys, but it's going to be hard to build up your economy. And I mean, you can do it with vassals, but it's a little bit hard to build up your economy enough. And I think it's going to take too long. So I like the rebuild. And I would get rebuild here as Obi-Wan Benogi. See if he goes for that, or he could go like double vassal, or he could, well, actually double vassal is a lot worse than recruiter. Could be like recruiter city quarter. Seems too early for city quarter. Okay, so we are going to see the clash of these. Q also could get a tracker. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better than nothing, and I definitely want to get my coffers. Okay, play the vassal. Hopefully hit the tracker. No. Still buy another rebuild here. No, why would you go recruiter? If you've gone rebuild, go rebuild. And why would you go rebuild? If you've gone recruiter, go recruiter. I'm so confused at their switching plans. Buy another rebuild. Wow, this is a pretty unfortunate draw for Q also as well. 6, get another rebuild, Obi-Wan Benogi. Take your coffers. Rebuild and coffers, rebuild and coffers. I'm really confused by the mixed strategies that they've been going for. Embassy. Embassy does give negative points to your opponent here, which is kind of cute and funny. Play a copper and just take, don't buy anything, just take your coffers. Yes. Estate into duchy, sure. Play your recruiter. Trash a vassal. He's going to trash an estate probably. Yup. Ooh, you hit embassy. That's incredibly nice. You do want to play that. Yes, it triggers a kind of bad shuffle, but it's a very short shuffle. It's a very short shuffle. It's a very short shuffle. It's not that short of a shuffle, I guess, but it's pretty short. Buying a den. I'm just really confused. Okay. Get another rebuild. Okay, vassal plus a coffers makes some amount of sense. You can trash the pouch here probably with your recruiter. You're not going to need plus buy for the deck you're building. The villagers are going to be kind of nice. Well, you're going to trigger this shuffle, huh? Well, then I would think you'd play the embassy. Well, I guess you're going to draw recruiter dead if you do that. I just don't really know what you're doing. It seems like a really weird mix of strategies. City quarter. Yeah. Yeah, I see that, but okay, so you have 2 provinces, no estates now. You're going to buy a duchy? Or are you just going to be milling provinces with your rebuilds now? I guess you're going to be milling provinces, or maybe you don't realize that you don't. You have this silver, which is negative points, right? That's what I'm trying to think about. Um, I don't know what you're doing if you're Obi-Wan Benogi. You're trashing a copper. You're taking coffers. You're taking a tracker. Okay. Obi-Wan Benogi can either Chancellor himself or mill a province on his next turn with the rebuild, or not play it. So Kyoso is just milling. Oh, and he can mill another one here. That's nice. And he can buy one here as well by using coffers, which seems good. Or you could take a duchy. He can buy another one here. I mean, I like mixing coffers with rebuild. I just don't like mixing the recruiter in. Okay, this seems like a lot of drawing stuff dead. You gonna take another tracker for quote-unquote free? Or are you taking an estate for quote-unquote free? Okay. Trash. Pouch makes sense. Oh, this is just a win. Mill province into province, buy province. Boom. Pageant rebuild combination. Very fast, although I don't really like the recruiter thing, but vassal pageant rebuild. That was insanely good luck anyway, though. What do you know? I'm going to cover this one too. I'm feeling it now. I'm more pumped, although this really does have to be the last one, because I'm also feeling some... The coughing has not been good. We'll put it that way. I love me a good patron. I don't know if it's very good here. Look, not reveal. This is also not reveal. It's set aside. This is... Bats is interesting. Bads is interesting with Bonfire, so you're probably going to do some amount of that. And Bonfire is also interesting with Hermit. So then it's not good with the Bads. I would have taken Patron Hermit here. 2/5, I like the nothing. Sacred Grove, I think over Archive. Yeah. Cut Purse, fine. I want Madmen. I mean, Hermit early on is just so good. You're taking more Bonfire points and thinning, which is okay, but I do want Hermits. Okay, now are you going to buy an Archive or a Hermit or what? Archive, okay, sure. And then Bonfire. Get a Madman. You don't get the points because you did gain a card. You don't get pass points. But that's okay. River's Gift is good enough. You'll take it. Now, could be Hermit Bonfire. Could be Hermit or Hermit Silver. Hermit Bonfire is. You're going to have a little bit of terminal problems, but there's always Villa here, so it's not really a big issue. Although Villa does kind of get in the way of trying to get Madmen. Maybe you don't need to get Madmen. If you play Archive and then Wisp, you're going to draw that copper you just discarded. I think you take the Hermit here. You play your Wisp, and I can't count. Cool. So you trash an estate, you gain the Hermit, and you just take your Madman. It's a sad Madman, though, because it's not drawing many cards. So I'm a little worried Kyoso's underbuilt, but the extra deck control looks great. In fact, I think I'm not sure that I wouldn't take... How is this worded? If you didn't buy any cards this turn. So I think I'd take Grove here, play the Grove, not play the Madman, buy a Villa, play the Hermit. that's what he does. Well, I'm assuming he's going to buy a villa. He might not. Villa, yes. Now, you could also Madman then. Yeah, that makes some sense. Now, you can trash the estate. You've already bought a card this turn, so you don't want to try to get a Madman by taking a Hermit. You just take a silver here. Maybe a Smugglers. Smugglers? What does Smuggler smuggle? It smuggles a Smugglers or a Villa. No, you have too many Hermits now. You don't want this many Hermits. You think you're going to get Madmen, but you're not because you bought the Villa. No. Sacred Grove. See what you get. You could smuggle a Hermit, but I kind of don't think you want to. You could smuggle a Villa. That's probably worth it. Trash the estate. Get a silver. I think you smuggle a Villa here. Rather have a Villa than no Villa in your deck. I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Nothing else you can. It's better than a copper, and you weren't going to buy anything on two, so you could go like Archive, Grove, Bonfire, and trash a copper if that's really what you're worried about. You might even trash this Hermit here. You could trash the Hermit along with the copper. You don't want to. You still want the Hermit. Okay. Archive, Grove. Archive Grove. Yeah. So Obi-Wan Benogi seems pretty ahead here. These Hermits look pretty bad here. You gotta play Grove next. Oh, I guess you could smuggle a Villa. You don't want to smuggle the Archive, I don't think. You can't turn on your Wisp with these, but you could just, draw Archive, and that's good enough. Wisp can reveal Patron. That's a thing that can reveal Patron. Bureaucrat can reveal Patron. It's real reason to not get Bureaucrat, even more so than normal. You really think that you're going to be able to get Madmen here, but you really, really can't. Maybe you just want two silvers, I don't know. Oh, silver and trash the other. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That is fair. That's totally fair. My previous comment I should retract. It's a little bit too harsh there. I apologize. You don't want to trash anything here, do you? And if you're Kyoso, maybe you want to trash the Hermit? Kind of think you don't. He does. Okay. Kyoso. I doing it. I'm not being. Okay, nobody has treasures in hand, so that's not going to do anything. Smugglers can smuggle an archive. And I might just buy province. It's going to be kind of hard to get to double. Might have also gotten a 5 and a silver. I'm not sure. Or even another smugglers, maybe. Play Grove next. Because you might have wanted to discard. Exactly if you hit wins, you might have wanted to discard the Villa. I guess you didn't, though, right? If you discarded the Villa and the Smugglers there, you'd only have 7 money. So you're doing this anyway, so I guess it doesn't really make a difference. what do you have in your archive? You need more economy. So I guess you're going to smuggle an archive, but then you should buy a grove. Okay. So now it just seems like Kyouso 31 is about a turn behind Obi-Wan Benogi, but that's about all. You want the grove here, right? You can afford to play it terminal-wise. Unless this archive has to take a cut purse. Smuggle archive? Is that what you'd smuggle? I'm not sure it would be. This doesn't matter so much. You're gonna grab a silver here. You're gonna grove, I guess. Forest. Sure, actually that's kind of nice. So you can go province silver. I think you do want the silver. Silver seems better than nothing. As many archives as you guys keep taking off each other, like Kyouso is likely to smuggle another one, and then you'll be able to smuggle another one, and you just have like extra archives, so having the extra cards in your deck seems pretty reasonable. You're gonna have so many archives this turn. You're not gonna have stuff to do with them. Okay, I think you smuggle before you, or you grove before you smuggle, right? Yeah, gold is better. You can't do this. You just buy province now. Okay. So that's the other thing about going gold and archive is that you allow Kyouso 31. I'm not having good luck with these names. Uh, you allow your opponent to. This is not the greatest archive window ever. You allow your opponent to. Field's Gift is nice. You allow your opponent to smuggle gold, which I guess is fine if you're going to smuggle gold right back, but I don't know. This is 15. You don't want another silver? I still think you want a free silver. Also, could you not have played with Villa to buy something and then buy Villa and then get a better look with this last archive that just drew a gold? Have some cards underneath it, maybe? Yeah, you apparently think you don't want silvers, or smugglers, or hermits, or bureaucrats, or estates, or curses. I mean, or coppers. Like, I agree you don't want coppers, or curses, or estates, or herbalists, or another hermit, but I think you want silver, and I also kind of think you would want more smugglers. So I don't quite agree with how this has been played. I think you take gold here, but I could see taking smugglers. Oh, you have more terminal space than I thought. Then yes, I would take smugglers. But you're kind of low on. Okay, ding, ding, ding. Silver goes into gaining something. Something's got to be better. Sure, Plaza. It's not much better, but it should still be better. I am not sure about that move. Flame's Gift doesn't do much. Obi-Wan Benogi might want to trash this Hermit. Does. Okay. There is a province. So can they both double province on good turns here? I mean, Kyoso's unlikely to draw well enough to, but actually, hold on. 6, 9 in hand, 12, 13. The Wisp would have to kind of draw well, but yeah, I think they both hypothetically could. Oh, the cut purse is going to hurt. Cut purse is actually going to hurt. What was this boon? This boon is Moon. Moon doesn't do anything for Kyoso. I anyway expect Obi-Wan Benogi to not double. Okay, well, it was just single, so there's no worries there anyway. Villa. Grove next. No, you Grove before the Villa in case you get a drawing thing. This is interesting though because the obvious thing is Province Duchy, which is pretty bad against double Province, but I don't know that you can really play around double Province very effectively, especially because like Duchy dancing, the smugglers come up. Your draw is worse, so I think Province Duchy makes some sense, especially given where Obi-Wan Benogi is with only two archives out. Oh no, there's three archives out. Maybe you wait then. Maybe you wait a turn. I don't know. It's kind of hard. That was a really good boon. Discard Province and Smugglers, I think. You just need to draw 3 money, which you're very likely to do. Okay, well, obviously, it's a great boon for you. Yeah, I think you were almost guaranteed, if not guaranteed, if you would have just kept the cut purse in hand to get where you wanted to be. Now you're 2 money short, exactly the 2 money from the cut purse. And you have 14. And you could Province Duchy, but that loses to Province Double Estate. It loses to a lot. So I don't think you want to do that. You're probably going like Duchy, Duchy, something. The something might just be a plaza, which is pretty sad. Okay, so you play. Oh, I don't know if I would have played Archive first. I think I take gold here. Play Plaza. I think I would have played Plaza first because I just want to have more information. I'm not discarding with the Plaza, so I want more information for my. Oh, you got to smuggle Duchy here. I want more information for my things decisions by the time I make the decisions. Duchy, and I might even take estates by now. Well, you're in bad shape. You needed one more money. I don't think estates are probably the answer. Just take a plaza or something. Maybe a patron. You might reveal a patron with your wisps. You do have a good amount of money for next turn. Yeah. Yeah, you have a chance of doubling here if that opportunity is presented to you. Unfortunately, Obi-Wan Benogi also has a chance of doubling. Should take Archive here to try to find a Grove. Oh, he's just going to make it anyway. Yep, this is a win. This is 16. Cupper's still doing work. All right, thanks for watching all these, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed it. I may do some more stuff like this at some point. Let me know if you like the format of just like many games in a row and or commentary. But we'll catch y'all another time. WanderingWinder out.